the button. You hit the button. You hit the button. You hit the button. You got what I need. Hit the button. Yep.
What it do, my people? What it do, what it is, man? It's your boy, man. J Moru. We out here. Super excited, man. Y'all already know. So, what it do, what it is. Hope everybody's feeling good. Hope everybody's feeling blessed. You digs? What's good, man? It's your boy J Moru. Live with the Tales of Two Hoods. We got a lot going on today, y'all. We got a lot going on today. It's about to be a lituation, you know what I mean? We out here, man. So, what it do, what it is, like I said, super excited. J Moru about to interview my guy, Cass. So, before we get started, everybody, I would just like to tell everybody, welcome to the Tales of Two Hoods show. Today's show is brought to you by Urban Prophet Society. Let me see if I can put this up a little bit. We in the building. Scoochie. Urban Prophet Society, sponsored by Neo Roman Clothing Line and J Moru. And today we're gonna be talking with Cass, the producer. You heard? My guy's nice with the keys. Cass, keyboard producer. How you doing, Cass? Blessings to you, bro. By the way.
And I'm good, man. How are you doing? Thanks for having me on.
Nah, yeah, most def, bro. Thank you for coming. I definitely appreciate it. Telling people, like who you are, I guess, where you're from where you're from.
Yeah, no, I'm from New York. Born and raised from New York City. I'm downtown Manhattan. But I went to, I grew up and did a little bit of, I spent a lot of time, at many different places. My guy ML Scribes just joined. He's a great songwriter. But I'm from New York. Been doing, New York has some of the greatest resources for the music, and so I took advantage of it growing up, and now I'm here. So.
We're talking about that, man. How was your show last night? I know you had a show last night, so I definitely want to ask you how that was.
Definitely, yeah. No, I had a show with my guy, this Korean American rapper named Inspector Jones. Really cool, really great turnout. A lot of love. It's just amazing to see like the power of like hip hop, like and music, just being able to transcend like people from different backgrounds, and just see everybody come together and and see what the response is. And it's great to see different people like reaching out for different gigs, people not wearing masks, gigs coming back.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
I mean, it's a really great thing to see because music is part of the culture, of the culture, of the people. Like, so it's like when you try and take that away because of disease or politics or some horrible thing. I mean, it doesn't really reflect well, like, and we need it as a society. Like, I mean, I think that's the whole entire thing is that's what really keeps us all together. So.
Nah, word, bro. I appreciate you and everything that you do, man.
Yeah, no, it's a great show. It's with Inspector Jones. Hopefully, he'll be posting up probably a lot, some footage. It's definitely fun. Chris Hayes, I haven't speaking to Chris Hayes for Chris Hayes, a guy.
Blessings, everybody. Thank you for everybody for coming through today, chopping it up with us.
Okay, cool. Yeah, people responding. Cool. I mean, that's what yeah, for sure.
That's beautiful, bro. So let's get right to this beautiful interview, man.
Definitely.
Great energy. So, why do you produce music, and does anyone influence your sound?
Yeah. You see, I'm a musicologist. I mean, where I studied musicology in college. So it's like, I mean, you know, I mean, I did it. I mean, I started classical. See, the whole entire thing about me and, you know, personal music and my family, the music actually saved my family directly from the Holocaust. They were able to go on tour, and it was able to save their lives. My I have a great relative who played with Tchaikovsky, right? And before, like in early 1900s, Tchaikovsky wrote Nutcracker. Like, he's the greatest of them all. At that, so, and he basically told my family because of what was about to happen before World War One and the destruction of my people and the Jewish people. But I mean, it doesn't matter. And then they're able to leave. So it's like with that being said, so it's music is a very spiritual thing, and it saved obviously inspired my father, who's a failed musician, my grandfather, who's a failed musician, was a failed musician. So it's like me. It's basically just keeping up the legacy of my keeping up the music in the blood, and just grateful for gifts God has granted me. And it's really a responsibility. That's the reason really why I make music. This is a responsibility for my own talent and for what has been given to me in the past. And I feel like we have to be more aware as people. So if this is a blessing, I really want to make sure that the blessing is always used in the right ways, so.
Nah, most definitely, bro.
Yeah, so I mean, and then I'm inspired by everybody. Realistically, I'm trying to find people that I'm always inspired by. But my biggest influences are definitely Gershwin, George Gershwin, for basically trying to heal. I mean, not even heal, but I mean just tell the stories of like what makes music and culture in America. Like, he's the greatest. Like, I mean, it's so important. Like, for me, I mean, it's so important.
That's dope, bro.
I mean, there's so many, but I mean, that's where I started. But I mean, I came from classical music, jazz music. I mean, I did a lot. Like, worked with salsa, worked with people from Africa, I worked with people from Korean dance. So it's like, I mean, I like being able to utilize music that I can be able to work with people from around the world and really, keep the blessing, inspire people to learn about different cultures, more aware, and like be more grateful, and that's the whole entire point.
Now that's inspiring, bro. That's pretty dope. I like that. How long it took you to get nice at making beats, or was you just naturally talented?
That's what's up. Powers those that can't see. Yeah, appreciate that. Well, I mean, it took me. I knew I wanted.
Dope, Jose. My bad. I was reading the thing too. My bad.
Yeah, no, it's all good. No, I knew I wanted after hearing Eminem at 10 years old. Aging myself, but it's all good. After hearing Eminem, I realized that that's what I wanted to do. Because I was at that point, I was getting bored of like jazz, classical. I was 10 years old. I didn't know. I wanted to, play games. I wanted to but I didn't know if I wanted to do music. Then I heard Eminem, and I was like, his creativity and him, being himself that was inspiring to me. And the classical music, the musicality out of it was like, that's what I want to do. So I made my journey at 10 years old to become a record producer after hearing Dre, and I was like, that's what I want to do. Like.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm talking about. So when you was 10 years old and you started, making beats.
Why did start playing? We didn't have the. This is a long time ago. We didn't have the beat making process.
Oh, you didn't have a DAW. You wasn't using a DAW.
And I was playing. So I started with classical music. Over no.
Oh, that's very interesting. I'm glad. That's why I kind of broke it down, because maybe some of the views was like, I brought back the question just because, just maybe because, yeah, it's cool though. You actually answered the question because, like you just said, there was no DAWs at the time. So you was very interested in classical music, and you were just basically playing instruments.
Yeah, I'm a musician first. I host jam sessions. I'm a musician. I'm classical piano player. Then I went to jazz. Salsa. So yeah, I mean, I my journey to learn the styles. I'm a musician first, so that's what I really. 10 years old until I didn't even get into production of beats until I was about 20. Until I figured out 10 years later. So I really made it my process to go through the whole entire, from classical music, writing music for different people, Broadway, hip hop, not hip hop at that point, but I mean all this Latin, salsa, jazz, playing in big bands, and like doing the whole entire. Went to Manhattan School of Music when I was 14 years old. I was a prodigy piano player. So
That's fire though. That's
like,
dope, bro. Not a lot of people could say they did what you done. You know what I
no,
mean? Nobody
that's
walked their shoes.
no, for sure. And it's like, because, I mean, again, by blessings for my family, because my father, my grandfather knew that we were like, that music saved our lives, because we're here. Like, his father told him that he was a musician. I mean, he had an orchestra where they were from. They're very, music was very spiritual. Part of it's like, this wasn't like a choice. It was playing music.
Part
Like,
of your DNA.
it was DNA. I mean, and because I was naturally gifted at it by, like, as a young child. I mean, I started piano when I was 5 years old. So it's like, as I progressed, I mean, but even when I heard Eminem, like, I knew that was gonna be my journey. So I mean, that's what thing that kept me interested. So I did my research in order to become a producer. I got more into like record collection in like high school. I could go into CD libraries, and I would have my apartment's too small for my CD collection, but I became a CD collector.
Yeah, my bad, Cash. We had a question from one of the viewers. They said if you grew up in Manhattan.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
yeah, he grew up in downtown Manhattan, right? If I'm not mistaken, that's where he grew up at.
Yeah. No, I still live downtown as well. So
That's fire.
such incredible resources. Both my parents moved here for the industry, for different industry things themselves. So it's just like I just took advantage of every single opportunity. New York's the home of hip hop, Broadway, and Broadway and hip hop. Realistically, I mean, it's the home. Like, yes, there's classical music. Yes, there's Lincoln Center. Yes, there's the whole entire. Yes, there's a incredible jazz world, jazz at Lincoln Center. I mean, there's a lot of great things, but it's the home. It's the home.
It's the Mecca, baby. Yo, so you
Also,
work with some of the top artists and performers in the rap and hip hop industry. What can you say you took away from them as a lesson or knowledge, or just pure knowledge? My bad. Before you answer that question, just name a couple of artists in the industry that you worked with as far as hip hop, to let everybody know.
before that, I went to Purchase College I studied musicology after Manhattan School of Music. I went to Purchase College for musicology and economics because I didn't really want it. The conservatories didn't really allow me to like do everything. I was like, as a producer, you have to be aware of every single music. You not just like playing piano, playing keyboards, playing an instrument, making beats. You have to be aware. Like, a producer puts everything together. He's the mastermind. He's not even in music. I mean, you have to think about it from a film producer's perspective as well. So I mean, production, like arrangement, project management is like, if you look at things too narrowly, I think or limiting wise, I don't necessarily think, I mean, it's great to have this as a hobby, but if you want to make this profession, or you don't want to have other jobs, I mean, which I mean, whatever. It's not about that. It's just about, that's what a producer does. It's the mastermind. So it's like the more tools that you can have under your fingertips, the better. But so after that, I was able to. I went to Purchase, and actually, a lot of the Purchase at that time had a lot of connections to the hip hop world. I saw Saigon like randomly headlined. I mean, this is right after he did the Entourage. Styles P had performed for like 40 people. Brand Nubian performed for like a lot of them, like 20 people there. This is before like hip hop was like popping like it was then. Drake headlined the school festival. Like, the school had a festival, and Drake headlined in 2010. Nobody knew who he was, so they had a lot of ties to the hip hop game. So Mac Miller's people were, ironically, because the school had a pretty incredibly strong music program, Mac Miller people came through. They were scouting people. One of the rappers I was working at, one of my friends was trying to get. However, Mac Miller's people contacted me, so they were like, "Yeah, we want to work with you. We like you. We don't like your boys." So it's like, all right, it is what it is. I mean, at that point, But yeah, no. So after graduating, I got some work in studios. I was playing keyboards for different people, including this guy Ty Fife, who produced for Tony Ayo and 50 Cent and Jay-Z, produced For the Fans. And that's, what I learned from him was that he keeps on doing what he's playing to his strengths, and getting his name out, and just focusing on focusing on people who respect him and pay him. And that's a major lesson to learn. It's like, always focus on those people who respect you and are willing to, like, not only ask you to come through, but just respect you. Like, if you're working with people that the vibe isn't right, the vibe's not right. Don't
play yourself.
So
respect yourself. I feel you.
So many other, and I feel like sometimes like things don't go, I mean, and just not worthwhile. But at the same time, I was working for him. I was also doing a lot of remixes. And I was like working on my own production craft. Favorite Mac album? I loved the swimming pools.
That's dope. Yo,
Yeah.
shout out to Craig Jackson.
Speaking
Blessings, bro.
Yeah, I mean, anyway, so I was doing remixes and doing that, and then I got connected with Static Selector. Right after I got connected, about 6 months after I connected with Fife, I got a call. My boy and my partner, who's kind of managed me at that time, he was very connected, and um, I'll answer that afterwards. But yeah, for documentaries, I never made a documentary, so I might not be the right person to ask. But just make sure you keep your content. Make sure you're able to keep your control of your name and control of any assets that you bring in, and you're able to leverage that. That's what I say to anything that anybody wants to work with.
And I say to add on to his piece of advice, if you're gonna do a documentary, any music or sound that you're gonna use in there, make sure it's original. Make sure you find somebody who knows how. Hey, this is Cass right here. Hit up Cass, like, yo, I'm doing a documentary.
Yeah.
And you know, y'all can work from there. He can make the sounds for your documentary, so you don't have to get sued for using other people's music.
Yeah, I mean that's one thing, but just make sure that try not to. You can't use other people's music if you don't control the rights. And it's like just ask the people if you could utilize. If it's an underground artist, they probably won't have a problem. If it's a major problem, if it's a major artist, they'll probably want some a lot of money. Like, yeah. So, but yeah, no, Mac. Yeah. So, after that, I connected with Static Selector, and Static Selector gave me, and that was when I was able to get a couple placements with first with Static and Action Bronson off the Well Done. And what I learned from Action was that Action was just going to be himself. He didn't form into like what people thought about him, or people giving him advice or like things. Like, he just wanted to do what he wanted to do. I mean, his voice was dope. Like, I mean, his rapping is incredible. Like, stories, like his diction and the way that he took his own approach. I remember hearing that Dr. Lecter, and I was like, yo, his choice of samples, the jazz samples. I was like, I was a jazz fan.
Yeah.
Jazz music, I studied it all. Like, I love jazz music. Like, such an important aspect to American, to all kinds. Very.
Yeah. You like jazz? You could tune in. You could chop it up with my guy. He's a guest, right? Well, he's a viewer. He was our guest last week. Craig Jackson 99. If y'all want to ever link up, you like jazz? He plays the saxophone.
Oh, nice.
He's got his own band. He's nice, bro.
Yeah, no, jazz is great. I like it all, man. I've done it all, man. I don't like limiting genre. I like learning from each one, like country, jazz, hip hop, R&B, gospel.
Nah, I know. I see you, bro. I appreciate your ear, your time, and the energy you put into this music, bro. Real talk. I really appreciate it.
Yeah. And it's like, it comes. It gets, I'm not, there's, you do this for the right reasons, things, and you have good attitude, blessings are going to come your way. If you do this for the wrong reasons, you have a bad attitude, and you screw people over for basically jealous, your own reasons, karma's going to hit you back as well. Like, and it's not going to be necessarily eventful. Like,
definitely.
There's a lot of smoke and mirrors in this game, and it's like, again, you don't want to play into the negativity. You want to play into the positivity, and just, make sure you own the rights, and it's like, make sure you do what you're doing, make sure you keep the credit.
Most definitely, and just write up contracts. A lot of contracts make a lot of things easier, whether they're friends or not. But
sometimes you don't get the contract. Sometimes it's all negotiation. Sometimes it's word of mouth. Sometimes it's handshake.
I know, but what I'm trying to say is, like, even if I was to talk to me personally, like if I was to talk to somebody, a friend or anything that's word of mouth, I'm gonna need that in paper before we even. That's just me personally. You know why? I had experiences in the past. People say one thing and do another. So to avoid that, let's just get this agreement in paper, and then anything from there. Hey, listen, you don't want to obtain your contract. It's here. We get to lawyers and all of that, but we don't need to get that far. Honestly, I got another good question.
But the way I deal with things, like when I release records with different people, we split everything down the middle. Like if you have like, unless it's a bigger negotiation, like it's a huge contract where obviously there's lawyers involved. But if you like, the point is, it's like we split everything down the middle. It's like I'm utilizing my name to help you out. Like you're utilizing your name to help yourself out. Like, I'm utilizing my resources to help you out. That's not even that. It's like I'm also You know, there's also like if we put out the record, we split the whole entire thing down the middle. Like if you, I mean, not just I'm going to get the whole entire 100%. Like I mean, I'm not buying the records, and sometimes people buy my records, share out of it, and I'm down with that. That I won't have any share of the records.
Nah, yeah, I was gonna say that because honestly, I'm learning how to produce right now myself. You know, I've been making beats. I've been you know, looking up what to do and not to do. You know, the correct way to use a loop if you're gonna use a loop. You know what I mean? Basically, manipulate the loop. Don't leave it.
TrackClip's my favorite. It's the best way of clearing samples. They have samples that are able to clear. Use 20. I mean, basically, you give the guy $25, whatever. Like, I mean, for whatever for usages, and you just give them a percentage based off time. Like, that's the best way of easy way to clear. It's Swedish.
That's fire.
TrackClip. It's one of the best ones. I think personally, it's my favorite one. And it's like it's also creating more opportunities for the whole entire how samples and clearances work. So
that's fire. I got another good question for you, Cass. Now I see you making big moves, man.
Yeah.
Making big moves, all right? I see you working with Disney on Disney's new film, Zombies 3.
Yeah.
The song is called Finally Me. What was your inspiration, man, and how you got that done? Because I could tell you right now, I saw the movie with my daughter. She's a big fan of zombies.
Yeah.
All of them. 1, 2, 3. But I could tell you, bro, that honestly, that movie's like Grease on steroids.
It is.
Nah, it really is. And if you don't like sing, like, you know, there's just people out there who don't like movies for singing and shit. But I want to tell everybody that Zombies 3, all the beats that you rocked on, and I felt like they try to keep the same sound with every other producer too that they worked with. Like, everything's bumping. That was my whole point. Like the beat that, like, because I watched all 3 of them. So I see the sound change in all 3 of them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like the first one was like a High School Musical, Grease kind of vibe.
Yeah.
Then the second one, they kind of like speed it up. But the third one is like they try to, how can I say, like go with the times now, like the sounds. You know what I mean? Like everything, every beat that you was on, the Finally Me, and I know you did another one. I got another question to that. We're gonna say that later, but I just want to tell you, bro, that I enjoyed the instrument. Like I was listening to the instrumental too, not only the song. Like after I watched the movie, and I just like how you put everything together and how you had it really bumping. Like I felt like Drake could have rhymed to that shit if he wanted it. You feel what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, the whole entire thing is, remember, musicals are like the foundation of like both movies. Like work. Like I mean, growing up in Manhattan and growing up in New York, you know, New York is the home of Broadway and hip hop. Like you can't avoid it. Like I mean, in high school, they're like giving me, you know, I mean, not even high school. Like even before then, like I was a little kid going to these Broadway shows. I grew up here, so it's like I mean, you can't ignore it. Like I was 10 years old when my father my father when I was 8 years old. My father is a big fan of Wu-Tang. My father like was into hip hop before like, '94. Like pretty cool. Like he got into Nas and Wu-Tang, but also the musical. So it's like I always wanted to do a little bit of both, and it's like I love all the genres. I feel like with the musical setting, you can actually put all the genres
in one. Yeah.
And now the opportunities regarding streaming gives more opportunities to really inspire between the whole entire, and that's really the whole entire purpose of music, is that it's supposed to make people come together rather than separate us because of genre or this or that, which is really doesn't lead to it. Just it gets more stress, more, just more and more non-needed things. So it's like the whole entire thing was just, being able to do that. But yeah, I always wanted to work with Disney, obviously. Like who doesn't?
I want to give you your flowers, a round of applause. You feel me?
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, it's not
fire, bro.
I mean, it was such an incredible opportunity. So it's like but right before that, I won a songwriting contest myself in 2020. I won right before the COVID lockdown, and I won a contest hosted by New York Topliners. So after I won the contest with Topliners, I was able to, for another song, I was able to leverage that. Always leveraging. I was able to get a deal with Disney. They're like, oh, you won. Okay, we'll give you an opportunity now. We're looking for songs for Zombies 3. And I was like, then they gave me a specific breakdown. They're like looking for specific things. They gave me references to what they wanted to do. They're like, oh, do you have something? I was like, let me see. And I got connected with the girl who wrote it, song and collaborator. Her name's Carrie Kimmel, who's also
Carrie Kimball, yeah, Carrie Kimball.
she's a legend. Like she's a legend. Like people don't know her, but she's like she's a legend. Like she's
And wasn't Meg Donnelly also in
a
that song?
young girl is saying who sings it, who's the actor. But yeah, no, Carrie Kimmel, like killer, like producer, songwriter, singer, like executive, agent, like really person, like incredible singer. And she was like done backgrounds for like everybody from Ringo to Pharrell, like sing to Willie Nelson, like she's a real
That's
like
fire.
singer, like she's like one of the best like singer, like she sang with the Beatles. Like I mean, it's like you can sing with
Yeah, you can't. There's nothing else to say. You know, you just said she sang with the Beatles. This is it. It was like drop the mic.
like, and and she's like, I mean, again, so it's like, I mean, I got connected with her after the recommendation with the guy, so it was like, and then next thing you know, it was like, they were like, the next thing you know, I got a call from the director, and he was like, we accepted the song. Congratulations. I was like,
That's fire, man. Talking,
yo, like,
what happened?
well, yeah, well, I mean, about the studio session, which was done on Zoom. The whole entire thing was done on Zoom, so I didn't have to go out to LA or Toronto where they were recording at all.
That's fire. Yo, Cass, I'm gonna put you on to. I'm gonna put you on. I'm not gonna say it on here. You know, I ain't gonna drop all my Jews on here, but I'm gonna inbox you. I gotta look through my notes, but I know I think it's like a website and you subscribe to it. It's like not Netflix, but you know how like everything you subscribe to it for a couple months. So basically this program would allow you, like for example, me and you, for example, let's say me and you are working on something together. You made the beat for me, and I'm recording my verse here. You will be able to still mix, master it, and talk to me with this.
Audio movers. Audio movers. Yeah, and there's already programs out there.
That's fire.
Others, other program. The technology for remote working has never been better. Like,
yeah, it's crazy, right?
I mean, I think that was the one thing about the COVID situation. It showed that working remotely is actually a real thing, and especially for the creative arts. It's like, and it kind of works. It kind of like I mean, yes, it's important to do shows. Yes, it's important to get yourself out there. But I mean, production. A lot of people would send me stuff to work on, and I don't ever have to like from all around the world. So I don't have to.
Yep.
Did you have family in the music industry before you started my career? Kind of. Both my parents, I'm kind of more in the entertainment industry, not necessarily the music industry, because they're all related. My father runs an experimental media journal. Pretty cool. My mother produced some plays a long time ago, so I have family in the game. But it's like they were both editors, but and other things in film. But they never like loved. They love music, but they never had the same kind of mastery as I did with regarding music. So I mean, it does help, but it doesn't necessarily. But I mean, in hip hop world, they gave me the call. Like I go to school, and I did build more industry connections by going to college and in conservatory where I purchased for that, and I was able to build relationships that way. But it's a combination. I think it's a combination. But I mean, with the Disney job and the hip hop jobs that I've gotten, they all come just because I basically make the deals. So I mean, but you have to have family that supports you into this if you want to do it. I think because it's a passion thing, and because the nature of either your family supports you or they don't. Like I mean, and it's like but that doesn't necessarily mean that this isn't for you, but it is an investment. Unfortunately, an investment. I mean, with 40,000 people uploading songs a day, I mean, on Spotify, how many people are uploading songs on YouTube, songs on Instagram? So it's like if you're not putting yourself out there and you're investing into your own business and getting yourself more recognition, I mean, it's just that's the nature of it right now. It sucks, but
it really is. Trust me, I know.
But the whole entire thing is at the same time you're able to make more direct returns for yourself. So I mean, regarding like the reels, regarding royalties, regarding splits, like there are opportunities to make better returns for yourself. So so I mean, again, and it also depends on your passion and your drive. It's like this is what I want to do. I mean, but it's like I like doing a lot of kinds of things. I also got interested in like architecture, construction. engineering and other jobs, you know, programming and like other things. Like there's so many ways to make money, like besides just making, you know, and just,
music and stuff. Yeah. For my bad, Cash. I know you recently produced another song from Zombies 3, and the song is called Utopia.
well, let's go back to this before we go to Utopia. I mean, you know, the whole entire thing is the industry itself needs fixing. So right now, Spotify and BMI owe me 20 million in royalty value. Plus, because there's no because unfortunately, even though we're all connected on social media, there's no real infrastructure that protects songwriters and musicians. There's no music. There's no union that can actually protect a real legitimate union and lobby to act and lobby for the songwriters and composers protection. And once even when things were passed, they didn't really act in the favor of the composer. And then that's why then even when I asked directly, they don't want to give me a direct answer. So it's not necessarily the entertainment lawyer. Cool. I mean, pay him if you want to have him. But honestly, there needs to be better jurisdiction and there has to be better oversight. Right now, Eminem is suing Spotify for $43 million dollars. So I'm going to add hopefully what I'm trying to do is add my royalty situation with Joey Badass and Static Selecta and the African guy, South African musician who we worked with. We're going to basically what I'm trying to do is add that situation because we're not being paid the full amount to the situation with Eminem. So it's like instead of, you know, Eminem going at it himself, even though obviously he's not, it just makes more sense. And
That's crazy, bro. So Spotify owe you $20 million?
I mean, right now because of streaming has created this incredible opportunity. You have to just be aware about what changes are going to happen. Now, the whole entire thing is Instagram has got it right. Instagram pays directly per reel right now. I don't know if it's, I mean, I've, you know,
that's only invite only. That's not everybody that's on Instagram.
Yeah, I mean that's a scalable thing. So if you're creating great content, you know, you're putting yourself out there. This is going to be the solution for how all the other FANG stocks operate, all the other stocks, all the tech stocks, because we get paid when Amazon, Apple, Netflix, all of them fucking pay. You know, Hulu pay when your song is used in movies, when your song is used in TVs. Again, but the whole entire thing is that the oversight that BMI does not have. They don't have to. I mean, it's unfortunate, but they need to have oversight, unfortunately. So the whole entire thing is there needs to be more community to make sure that we can lobby for changes within the whole entire industry together, not separate. But they don't want to hear that because they want to keep us separate so they can have civil war, and that will get.
Now you're right. You're 100% right. I feel like
So the whole entire thing is we all love music. We need to come together to demand lobbying for better protections for songwriters and composers, and basically have more. And there should be a ledger that shows what is the rates of each of these companies directly, and it should be public. Because if these companies are public, not only the value of music is public and spiritual, but the whole entire thing is these stocks are also public. So yeah. What do you mean?
That's his calling right there. He just let you know he's in the building and he's watching.
Well, yeah, man. So it's all about getting this, you know, I mean, just lobbying for different things. And the whole entire thing is just like, you know, I mean, I shouldn't be owed 20 million. I mean, nobody should be owed 20 million. If you have a huge song.
Bro, I'm mind boggled. I'm like you talking and I'm still 20 million in my head. Spotify owe me. Like, so what's the best situation for you to do about that right now? Is like get a music lawyer?
No, I don't need a lawyer. I go directly to them. I go directly to them. I go directly to them. Like, I mean, that's it. I go directly to them. Keep on 20. If I have to send 20 million emails, I can send 20 million emails. It doesn't matter. I'm not going to stop. I'm not going to stop.
Nah, of course it's $20 million, bro.
At least the most important thing is like, as everybody, the secret to this game is staying consistent. Always, everybody says this, whether it's talent, consistency in whatever you do. Always staying consistent. Always showing up. Always, you know, being positive. Always being, you know, just being who you are. Being positive. Being yourself. And
beautiful.
Believing. And it's like either people are going to understand or not. And it's like the people who don't understand, who cares? Move on. The people who, you know, I mean. Yes, consistency and persistence beats talent every day, because anybody can have talent. You know, I mean, everybody thinks they have talent now. You know, it's like as well. Like there's so many rappers. Like I mean, so many musicians, way too many. So many beat makers nowadays, like way too many.
Yeah.
Like consistency, and it's like, talk is cheap. Like, I mean, there's a lot of smoke and mirrors. Like, you just, you stay, keep it 100%. Like, again, I got to work with. Would I be still living on the east side if I had 20 million? I don't. I mean, honestly, it's not the 20 million that I care about. The 20 million of the valuation of the songs. I think we need to have better protections for the songwriters and composers. It's not about what I would do with the money. I'm an investor. I invest in many different kinds of fucking things, man. Many different industries. So it's like, I mean, besides music, like I'm trying to move into more media and movie and streaming, because now there's a demand for streaming. So it's like, if you really want to make money and get down to the streaming world, so there's a streaming war going on between Peacock and Disney Plus and this one and that.
All the platforms, basically the movie platforms.
Over, like that's where the opportunity is at. So I mean, I'm always investing in different things. It's like, I mean, building information modeling, tech. I mean, spatial. Like, what's going to happen? Art tech, like AI created art, AI created solutions, like AI solutions, like.
True.
It's not about the money. It's about what you're going to do. That hopefully the changes. Like, that's what I think a lot of people, and I get it, but it's like, you have to be thinking more so. Like, it's just the money comes if you work for it. And it's not about no one gets, for sure, no one wants to get ripped off, and that's the whole entire thing. It's like, the point is, it's like we should know what the rate of return is.
Nah, no, the favoritism is crazy right now.
Favoritism? No, it's not favoritism. It's because the lack of lobbying. If you had a huge 50 million, I mean, how many people make music? If you had everybody like being represented by a huge body, well, how could they ignore you? How can every single, I mean, you go directly to you get each of the, I mean, you go there, you go to DC or whatever, you have the whole entire people, coming together for this. I mean, change is going to happen.
Nah, yeah, most definitely. Artists just need to unify and come together, industry artists and underground artists, to make this happen.
Communication. It's like, I mean, they're taking advantage of the fact that there is no law situation. And even, like the Recording Academy I'm part of, like, they're not doing anything. It's like, again, it's like the lack, I mean, they're taking advantage of the lack thereof. That's why we need to come together on this. And the funniest thing is the technology is here.
Nah, that's true. And all the viewers who's watching, for the reason I'm definitely with Cash, agree with 100%. And it's crazy if y'all don't know this. So for any artist or producer who does not claim their royalties in a certain amount of time, that money goes into a black box, and that black box, it accumulates too with every other artist who didn't collect their stuff. And that black box it becomes all the main artists in the industry. That becomes their budget, where they could all their companies could all take out of that black box.
I want
inside of it. Nobody knows that.
As well, I heard that rumor as well. I really don't. I mean, again, I wish there was more oversight about the way that the BMI to begin with. I think we need to have more oversight as BMI and ASCAP operates. And there's a little too much politics in regards to the factor that this is music and this is soul, coming from the soul. Like, I mean, it just shouldn't be there. And I think if we have a lobby, and we have not a lobby, but if we had a real body and we're able to unionize, all musicians are able to unionize or be able to showcase. If you have enough records on a certain platform, you'll be able to, showcase that, and you've dedicated your life to making music, that you should be able to unionize and essentially get benefits to support your own entire craft. Hopefully, I mean, that's one thing, but also have more say, so that we could have more protection, so there could be a ledger that shows the rates of the streams for the master rate, the composer rate, and the publisher rate, and I mean, and essentially being able to just see what the rates are, like, and just splitting that rate through and through. Like, whenever you do a record with somebody, if there's 5 people involved, there's 5 people involved. Like, I mean, unless musical where you have, or something else, or a major record where you have somebody else singing your song and she has 10 writers. I mean, which is cool. I get it. I mean, and look, I've been part of those kinds of records, and I was like, don't even put me on as composer. There's too many people involved. Just give me money. So it's like, and I did deal with Atlantic with Action Bronson. He was like, yeah, he had a song that had 20 people, 10 people on it, and I was like, I don't need to have 2%.
Yeah, 2% of what? You know what I mean? I get it 100%. You want to move on from the subject, or you want to continue talking about it?
I mean, it's just super important.
I know. I dead know. That's what I'm saying. And like I said, if I was in your situation, I would look for guidance, like the way that's just me personally. So like, you know, you always teaching me something new.
Yeah.
Rash is always teaching me something new. Like the first time I met you, we spoke for like, well, I didn't meet you, but the first time we conversated, it was like half an hour, and you was just dropping nothing but juice on me, and I that really meant a lot to me, bro. I really appreciate it, because not a lot of people are like that. So I know that you're a down to earth person, not only a producer, a person. Like I don't.
Yeah, no, I mean, you know, I keep it 100%. I mean, see, I do music for the right reasons. It's like I want to combine all the genres together in one. Like, I mean, I'm working with some Cuban artists right now downtown. Like, I mean, it's not about the, you know, I've been in this, and it's like, you know, I mean, for again, if you're at blessings, if you receive blessings in anything you do, you have to be, you know, share the knowledge. I feel like people don't really understand the value of that. That's the point of, you know, being grateful for what you have, is also by sharing what gifts that you've received, especially in music, because music comes this energy. It's inspired by God, and it comes to you as the vehicle to inspire the next person. You know, to inspire people to get through their day, to get inspired for peace, to inspire people to learn about another different culture, to inspire whatever, to open their eyes, to be better people.
Inspired to inspire.
Well, that's the whole entire thing. It's spiritual music. I mean, it comes from God. The entire thing is the business should actually be equally spiritual and soulful. Now, you know, so it's like, yeah, you know, exactly. I mean, that's the whole entire point. Remember, music saved my own family's life from the Holocaust. We were able to go on tour. We went to Africa. The Africans saved my family. So it's like, and then we escaped South Africa because of the fucking apartheid and the destruction, what they're doing there. They're separating people, which is never good. And they created, now South Africa's in ruins. I mean, you know, don't ever trust. And then we went to, well, my grandfather went to London, went to England, and my father went to America to make movies. So where I'm here, like, it's all common games. You see, the Nazis missed when they didn't kill my family. So it's like now I'm basically showing how we can actually work together better than ever. So it's like, I mean, you know, so it's like, and I knew this going into it, because my heroes are jazz musicians. They don't sell records, and they're like, yeah, we'll be grateful if we get a 3 penny cent royalty set. Like, and my mentor, he showed me, like, right when I was going to spending money to go to, you know, college with him, and he was like, you know, the reality is that the industry really, you know, this is what's going on. So it's like, I'm like, all right, cool, that's great to know. So I was able to utilize that situation when I teamed up with Static, and actually, like, yo, just make sure I get my credit, because I really don't want to complicate things. I'm honored to be part of this. I don't want to make things easy. You know, let me come in as a partner rather than come in as paying me, you know, money instead.
Nah, I totally understand.
I mean, now I'm owed $20 million. Like, I mean, I played the game correctly, so it's like, it's really, and especially with that record, it's called Legendary. I mean, Joey Badass is legendary.
Yo, bro, that song is fire.
Incredible record. I mean,
incredible.
Sample from Angelique and Nana, like, so it gives me back, gives me an opportunity to give back to the people who basically saved my family, you know, like, directly. I mean, but not only that is the value, what that record means. You know, and especially what Joey says, it's like on that, and J. Cole, like,
yeah, bro,
like, whole entire vibe. But the thing has 38 million, and I have it in writing. I'll put this up again. I sent this as a tweet. They only want to pay me 17 million, so they owe me 21 million off of that one record. But that's only one record. But, I mean, again, there needs to be oversight, because it's like, if I want to talk to some guy who I need to pay taxes to, or some government that I want to help create jobs, or, you know, I mean, it's like, if we're being screwed over by some, there needs to be oversight. And I think there's just the better oversight, there's going to be more opportunities and more transparency. So it's not about the money. It's really about the change. So the whole entire thing is like, tell everybody, it's not about even me, my whole entire situation. I don't care. Like, I even wanted that at one point, I was trying to see if they would give me the money so I could donate the money. They didn't even do that. So it's like, you know, it's really oversight is needed.
Dang, bro.
I mean, you know, so and like a lot of these people that deal with lawyers, they only care about themselves.
Yeah, it's true, bro.
People, they only care about themselves. The only people who don't care about themselves are your partners in the music, you know, musician partners. So it's like, who might care about, you know, their own success, but they also might be more 100% with things. So it's like, I mean, honestly, greed is never the answer. Greed only lets you down, and it's, you know, kind of gives you a bad taste in your mouth, like.
Nah, most definitely, bro. So,
bad things about people because I don't really like doing that. I don't like talking bad about people. But it's like I mean, if you again, it's karma. Like if you want things to come your way, and you expect things to and you don't treat people with the respect that they deserve. Like,
Nah, I totally understand you, bro.
why you won't be getting more gigs? Like, I mean, the way you want to be treated in this world, and you might get some things out of it. I mean, I'm not surprised about where I'm going with my situation, and honestly, I mean, I keep on working. I don't care who it is. So it's like
Um,
the whole entire nature of the game, and it's not. And the craziest thing is, I told Disney about this shit after I got it, because the whole entire thing is the deal with my deal with Disney is also it's a partnership.
that's fire, bro. Like talking about Disney. I know you produced
Anything, and they're like, on.
Huh?
And they didn't say this. They didn't try to give me an explanation.
Dang.
And if they didn't give me an explanation, then it's industry wide. That's Disney.
Yeah, that's.
And I'm saying, like,
Did you have a chance to go to the premiere though of the movie?
yeah, it was dope. It was great.
That was dope.
Got to meet the director. Got to meet the screenwriter. Yeah, no, it's great to see, and it's great to see that the kids are getting a lot of work out of it. Sped up Grease, but it's also what that whole entire the show is really. I mean, I didn't really know about it first when I first got the job or the offer with them. They're like, you should watch these movies. I was like, okay, whatever. Like, but I mean, I definitely, this was like 2 years ago, right before the pandemic. So I got right after I won, I got the job. So
That's fun.
but yeah. It wasn't about that. It was just about like the whole entire. But I love what the concepts are. Like the concept of like just basically accept from and showcasing people from different worlds coming together and like kind of making high school musical kind of thing that kind of like showcases the problems. Okay, no doubt, yeah, for sure. Yo, speaking of art, you have to pay attention to about Midjourney. Midjourney's AI created art. It's the best shit there is. Or Dolly is the other AI created art.
Alright. Before all your success
Dolly,
with some of the top artists in the game as a producer, did you ever want to give up and call it quits?
No, of course not. I mean, again, it's spiritual connections.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm doing music for the right reasons. I mean, it's a spiritual journey that you're on. Like, if I need money, if I get into positions where I'm broke or whatever, or like situations that are, I mean, I find other jobs. I still make music. I find other jobs. I just keep on working. I mean, it doesn't matter. Like, I mean, I think the whole entire thing is I don't really make excuses for myself. It's like, it's like I'll do everything. I've done construction jobs. I've done whatever delivery jobs. I've done these jobs. I've done those jobs, like programming. I mean, do other jobs sometimes here or there as well. Like, whoever gives me the call. But I lost Jay Morrell, but probably talked too much. But no excuses. But any other questions? Yeah, man, for sure. People definitely make time for what they want. But I mean, it's just, yeah, don't ever make excuses for yourself. I mean, excuses are, you don't need excuses in your life. Where's my guy? Anyways, got some records I can play. Who else is here?
Nah, that's super dope though, bro. I apologize on that shit. But so you produced the Utopia.
Yeah.
What was the inspiration for that, bro?
He was looking for like more like after watching the zombies thing. There's a lot of like the zombies too. There's a lot of dancing involved.
It really is OD.
Like they love to dance. Like a musical is not just about singing, rapping. Acting. It's a little bit of it all. And it's like you want to, and it's like they want to kind of like encompass all this for the new musical. Like the musicals are such an important thing for the Disney. Some of the classic things. They're musicals essentially. Classic movies like musical. And it's like, they're just, so it's like, even when you're getting the job with them, it's like or any job, it's like,
Have you done a movie soundtrack intro?
I've done some. I've scored some. I've scored some couple scenes in movies and things like that. But not as like. I mean, film scoring is it's incredible opportunity to learn. I think it's really one of the best art forms. I've studied a little bit. I've scored a little bit myself. I think it's really great to think of yourself like outside of just making music. And like thinking about yourself, movie melodies. I've done stuff for McDonald's. I've done stuff for random Nike as well. And obviously, you know, got some stuff in sync as well. But I think it's really great to learn. It's always great to learn film scoring. But
That's fire, bro.
great. I mean, keep on learning. Knowledge is knowledge. Always, education is key. And like knowledge is learning things that you're interested in is key. Like, you know, just being more. You know, if you pigeonhole yourself to only wanting to make music, like, or doing one thing, I mean, you're pigeonholing yourself. Like you're limiting yourself. You know, so it's like again, don't limit yourself. But
Talking about my bad, Cash. I see you talking about limiting yourself, and
yeah,
you know, you talking about, you know, doing stuff for movies, doing stuff for artists.
yeah.
So basically, dang, what is it? What is it? Before or no, my bad. I just had this shit. So
Utopia. You're talking about the Utopia.
yeah, Utopia. But I see that you're like in two different paths. How does, you know, alright, hold on. Alright, there you go. Your career has taken two paths. And which path is more enjoyable for you? To compose just for musicians or to compose for film?
I mean, I'm also a keyboardist.
I know, so
I mean, I'm playing keyboards, I'm playing gigs, I'm playing like, you know, sets with different people, like, and I'm also a producer. Like, those are the two paths that I feel like that I'm in. Like, as a producer, like doing a little bit of all the genres, and you know, and as a keyboardist, you know, still playing, keeping up with gigs and playing gigs and working with musicians and rehearsals and getting songs together. So I don't think there's. I think again, it's like I don't like limiting myself to which one is better or which one is, you know, or producing. It's again, it's like I like learning about each one. I like trying one if I can.
that's beautiful, because a lot of majority of people will just, you know, say one path. Like, oh, I enjoy, you know, working with film more better, maybe because they have certain expectations, but they already gave it to you. Where an artist is like, yo, can you do this over? Can we do this over? Can you take this out? Can you put, you know what I mean? So that's beautiful though, that
Yeah,
you like doing everything.
vibe you have with different people. Like I work with a lot of. I like working with a lot of people. I like working with people. Like I mean, I just like making music. So it's like, I mean, it's like it doesn't really matter what is being offered. I mean, or what is. I mean, obviously it matters to if they're going to pay me or not. But it's like, you know, but it's not even then. It's like the opportunity. It's like, I mean, I think it's like as a musician, you should challenge yourself to do it all. Like if you can't do it all, like maybe, you know, you haven't done enough research to do it. Maybe personally, but I mean, that's my personal attitude. You know, I mean, I'm not saying it's for everybody. And it's like, but it's also, you know, just keep on learning. I mean, that's what I like to do. I like listening to different kinds of music from around the world. Like, I like studying musicology. That's what there's levels to this game, you know, and keep on learning more about each to it, you know, and combining sounds and getting better at what you're able to do. You know, I mean, I compose for the masses and create the people. I mean, it's a combination, making relatable stuff. I mean, relatable things, you know, staying guided on different things. Maybe it's like I'm trying to, you know, a couple different projects I'm working on. I mean, whatever, whoever gives me the call, doesn't matter. Like I'm working with a church group right now in Atlanta. You know, I have some other people from different places and putting out different singles with different artists. I just put out a single with an artist from Philadelphia. I mean, I'm working with Korean rapper Inspector Jones. Really cool. Whoever, you know, I mean, I'm doing the jam sessions every Monday. As a keyboardist, you know, whatever. Like, I mean, if the hip hop people want to give me a call, cool as well. Like, I mean, doesn't really matter. Like, I mean, doesn't matter who call. Like, I'll do it. Disney doesn't matter. Like, sure, musicals. I mean, they want me involved. They want me involved. They don't want to be involved. Cool. I just move on. Like, I mean, I'm also finding a lot of opportunities also to submit for. Like, I mean, I find different opportunities for. I have a bunch of resources for like in the industry resources like Song Trader, and I don't know if you heard about that one, or Music Ops, or
Yeah.
yes. Yeah, for sure. No, I do both. I mean, if you have, I don't know if you checked out any records that I've done. I mean,
Yeah, my bad.
Um,
Go after this live. Go to his page and click the link on Cass's bio
yeah,
to see all the work he
that,
has ever done.
like I mean, I've done sessions. Like if you could see it, like I do both. Like I speak about it, but I also do it. So it's like this talk is cheap, and it's like if you're not proving behind what you're doing, it's like I get it. I get it. I totally get it. But I make it as well. Like if you want to hear obscure sound right now, we can make obscure sound right now. I've launched with the power of obscure sound right now. So yeah. But yeah, man. I don't know about evil sound, but not an evil person, but
He meant like like dark, like horror movie kind of vibe, like
yeah, for sure, yeah.
those kind of sounds. I think that's what he probably meant to say. Oh, Stranger Things.
Yeah, really, yeah. Exactly. Yeah. No, nowadays with technology, like you really have the orchestra at your fingertips with the whole entire the beauty of Logic. Like I really think it's God sent because it's like the power of music inspired. What's his name? For Steve Jobs to create these computers, which created the Logic and GarageBand. So it's like, and all the opportunities what he's done for the film, and the media, and entertainment.
What's your favorite doll, and what was the first doll you used?
Logic Pro 9. It's still the best one.
I use Logic too, my brother.
Yeah, man. Yeah, it's just I've done every single genre out of this.
That's fire.
Like every single genre. Like if it works for a Disney movie, then it works for every single
everything. Yeah.
Movie. Like the movie has millions of streams now, and it's like at this point, if I'm not talking about Logic, it's like I think actually they should. That Logic Pro 9 is possibly one of the greatest programs ever created.
It's crazy. I follow this cat named Wavy Wings. He's basically worked, mad artists. But long story short, his goal on social media is just to help artists and producers to record, mix, and master faster. But obviously good. It's not like fast for it to be trash.
Right.
Basically, what I like about what he says is just like don't be afraid to fail and just jump into the program and just try new things.
Yeah, for sure.
He also said, go to YouTube. He was like, you have me, myself, as always doing tutorials, and there's a whole bunch of, different producers and artists that does tutorials to help you get where you want to go. So
yeah, sure.
Kind of put the barrier in my back has to like really start producing. And you said it earlier that you're the type of person you want to master every craft and everything that you want to do and everything you're doing as far as music wise.
Or whatever, or just figuring out ways of like making, not mastering it, but just figuring out ways of making it work for you. I think there's a lot of mastery. What is mastery? Is it the 10,000 hours? Is it 30 years? Is it just figuring out ways of life work for you? Like
perspectives, man. See, perspective is key out here, man.
So important. Like, be grateful for what you have as well. Like I just think there's a lot of people put. Depends on who it is. But there's no one. Failure is so important. Because failure teaches you what to do, what you want to do and what you don't want to do. What do you understand? What you don't understand? Right?
Yeah. That's beautiful. I got more questions for you, but let's play some games. Let's play some games real quick.
This is life. If you limit the way, I have to talk about limiting yourself, and I think it's like I really believe it. It's like if you limit yourself, limit your growth. You're limiting yourself. It's like you're a tree and you're not growing.
It's true.
So what are you living life for? Right?
Why would you put yourself down if everybody around you is putting you down already? There's no point of doing that.
And even if everybody's around you putting yourself down, then you have to find somewhere else, and you have to go somewhere else. That's obviously not the right situation for you. It's obviously not those people are not the right people that you want to
Now, what I mean by that is like life. Like for me, I live in the projects, right? So I live basically dormant. There's a person above me, to the left of me, to the right of me, but so it's like you gotta learn how to maneuver with everything and deal with it. Not like It's not like one of those situations where it's a friend where it's like, all right, cool, I could cut this person off. It's more learning how to move. It's like Jay-Z said it the best, basically, learn how to move in a room full of vultures and get the job done with keeping your sanity still.
100%. And that's what I mean. And it's like, I mean, again, it's staying focused and understanding where you're, what goals that you're able to, what you're able to get yourself. How you're able to win yourself. That's really what it comes down to. I feel like there's a lot of society puts an external pressure on us that what they tell us what success is, but really success also comes from within, because we all have our own definition for what success is. It's also, again, it's like, you have to bet on yourself.
Always.
And that's the whole entire thing. But it's like, but also you also have to be aware of, like, this whole entire thing with the publishing situation and the 20 million owed. It's
ridiculous, bro.
Point is, I bet on myself and I won. I'm the, if you play poker, it's like, or you play blackjack, or not blackjack, or you play what's it called? Roulette.
Yeah, roulette.
I'm betting myself. I'm the thing.
Yeah.
I'm the scorecard. So it's like, it's.
Yo,
but also the whole entire thing is the only way that the devil will. This is what I believe. The only way for the devil to get themselves racism. Devil means racism, classism, ways of keeping people, down. Yeah. The only way for those situations is to stop is when the devil basically kills himself, like the January 6th situation. If you were Republican or it's the whole entire situation. So it's like, it's the whole entire, that's really what it comes down to. Like, it's these situations, these laws are going to change. We don't need external lawyers. We just need a body of people coming together. And we demand change, that we need to see what the rate, and it's super simple. Facebook already got it right. All they have to do is all pay directly. And it'll be more of a, who pays directly? All the type of FANG stocks. All the stocks that have all the services that have music services. If you are successful, if your music is on there successful and it's successful, they should give you the right to actually make demands from get paid directly from them. That's it.
Nah, it's so true, bro.
And technically, it's my name that I'm not. Technically, it's so I have the right to actually collect from that, right? I don't have to go through a third party. It's like a third party might for protection, but like I should be able to go to Spotify directly and say that you owe me this amount of money because that's my song. I don't have to go through a third party. I don't have to go I have to go to Spotify. You owe me this amount of money because there's the same thing with Google, same thing with all these companies. It's actually be easier for the tech stocks as well, because they don't have to go through the third party and go directly. And then by having that protection as a songwriter, I should be able to utilize that to be able to get more opportunities out of it, not be owed 20 million, create jobs out with the company.
It's crazy, bro.
Well, it's changing. I feel like
I feel like things could change.
They will.
But a lot of artists just need to like unify, work together. You know what I mean? At least I'll say, I'm not gonna say the iconic ones, but I'll say like it doesn't even matter. It's just everybody needs to just come together, basically, bro, to get it done.
And that's the beauty of, that's the beauty of the culture. The beauty of the culture of hip hop is really does show that. It's the beauty of hip hop. You take a little bit of every single thing, create a bed for somebody else. It tells a relatable story and brings people together.
Yeah.
That's the beauty of it. You don't see people fighting it's similar. You don't see people like fighting at these like the metal concerts and people like moshing. It's disgusting.
That's
just in hip hop, it's just it's all about the culture. It's about like embracing of again the celebration and the showcasing how you can really be yourself and really play a role and really add different kinds of musical and different kinds of elements.
Word.
And inspires unity, inspires peace, inspires inspiration. I think that's the whole
Yo, but Cass, you gonna get far like that, man. You know, you ain't gonna have no beef with none of the OGs or nothing like that. Like Alchemist is going through right now, talking about the old era of music and how a lot of these old artists are. I'm not gonna say they don't got a lot of money. Put it that way. I want to get, that's what Alchemist was saying, and saying they didn't put into hip hop. They didn't contribute anything, and LL Cool J and a bunch of other artists, set the record straight. But I know you don't have to worry about that, because I know that's not the type of energy you put in. You're all about love. So,
Yeah.
who are your biggest role models as a producer? Whose career did you study, but you didn't copy, but you just watched them and analyzed to learn from?
Gershwin is still, George Gershwin's Porgy and Bess is still one. I mean, it's still a huge inspiration. Porgy and Bess is the foundation of hip hop. It's American it's American folk opera. Also called hip hop. It's like the story of the people. It's the story of, it's a story of African American people in the South Carolina. That's really, Summertime comes from that. That really shows the beauty of, to me, the whole entire, this concept of the whole entire, some of the songs, like, Going to the Promised Land, the spirituality that goes into there, like, it's a very spiritual, also, I've seen it both on Broadway, so many, countless versions from Miles and, Ella and Louis Armstrong's versions, to seen it on Broadway with what's it, Audra McDowell, seen it on Lincoln Center, their opera. Like,
That's dope.
You have so many versions of of their songs being played, and I think that's the point of being like a composer, producer. Like, you've seen the whole entire year of songs being played in so many different versions. It's like incredible. Also, it's like such an. For me, growing up in New York, I feel like that's really, Gershwin is really the king of the music for me personally. He's such a huge influence as from classical perspective, jazz. Rhapsody in Blue. Like, it's this guy is like.
That's dope, and I like how you said, for me, because you analyze and you know that everybody has a different.
Hello.
Yo, thanks for the compliment on my shirt. Appreciate it. If anybody got a blunt, please roll up. Nah, fuck with you. But how does it feel to hold down the family torch? Because we all know you spoke about it a lot today, that your family has been in the music for generations. So how does it feel to hold that torch, for your family, and let them know we still here, baby. We making music, hits after hits.
It's. I think nowadays. I think now it's really for myself. But it's. It's. It's part of it. I feel like people in my family need to be a little more grateful for where they are in this life, and hopefully my success inspires them to be more grateful and more better people in themselves. I have stress situations or tension situations for really no reason, and just be grateful. But how does, it's good, but I don't really do it for my family. I do it for myself. It's my passion, it's like, and the only reason why I talk about my family is that the point is that music saved my family from the Holocaust, from they were able to go on tour to save them. And that's the true value of music, is that music can actually save society. That's why we need to have better, again, it comes down to situations. If we knew the better rate of return, how many jobs would we be able to create? If we would be able to have direct communication with these huge top tech companies that have music streaming services available, why aren't they giving us better control? The composers and songwriters and the artists better rights.
That's so true.
So that's the whole entire power of music, is that it inspires. So it's not about like my own family's, getting saved. It's really about the point of having, just being able to inspire, after being inspired and saved myself. So
that's what's up. So we know your aim is to improve the culture and the entertainment and the arts community. What steps have you taken personally to achieve this goal? And you're already talking about some of the stuff as far as like emailing Spotify every day, but go a little bit more in depth. I can tell you're very passionate about this.
Well, again, it's more awareness. The awareness that I'm bringing, the awareness that I'm bringing in around, and getting more of my content out there myself, and getting my name out there myself. I mean, hopefully it creates more common communication regarding that. I mean, whatever, going to the different networking is so important, trying to go to all the different situations, the Zoom conversation, especially now it's the Zoom conversations. I mean, I mean, this, because the value of music is spiritual, I believe should be equally spiritual and soulful. So I mean, it's like, I mean, if it realistically, if it really comes down to me getting a billboard showcasing this, I mean, I would, like, I mean, that's, I mean, I think it's that important. I mean, I don't want to do that right now, but I mean, I think it, I mean, you know, you never know if BMI and Spotify have, you know, have have snipers, but I mean, you never know. It's like, you know, I don't want to cause any war, but I think this situation needs to be caused, that this situation needs to be addressed correctly. And I think, again, the blessing that I have from having the successful record should be ways of utilizing that to really unite. But if Eminem's suing for a lot of money, I think, you know, it's the nature of the game. Like, honestly, I mean, it's just, you know, there's a lot of changes that needs to be happened, and there's change that has happened, but it hasn't gone the whole entire way, because the whole entire thing is, a lot of talk is cheap, and some people have the power and the talking power, but they don't have the numbers to back it. They don't. They might have been managers at Cobalt or managers at companies, but they don't have. They're actually not successful musicians. They don't know. They're just trying to utilize ways of pushing themselves. Unlike me, that actually have a successful record and actually can have that proof in writing.
It's beautiful, bro.
So, I mean, there's a lot of talk and smoke and mirrors in this game that just needs. I mean, I think there just needs to be. You have to. And when people say that they know things, you just have to you have to do your research.
Yeah, I tend to listen to everybody. I call it the sponge and leopard effect. So basically, I become a sponge, and I just, I take in all that energy. I listen to what you gotta say, what this person says, and then I start dissecting it, and I become a leopard. I take everything that I want from it. What is actually true? Because, like you said, do my research. So as I'm doing my research, I'm taking, and then I become a leopard, and I start attacking, doing what I gotta do.
Yeah, that's really what it's like. You have to do your research. You have to do what you have to do. It's like, I mean, it's people talk, but the whole entire thing is just like the best relationships that I've ever done, especially in both in Broadway and the hip hop. Oh, totally dope, Aaron, are going directly to the producer, or going directly to in the Broadway world, directly to the producer, the director, and the guy, the person who's calling the shots, and it's putting up their own money to get a pilot done or whatever. Because that's basically how it's like a movie. It's like you have to get the person who's a screenwriter, go to those people. And then in the hip hop world, it's going directly to the artist, trying to get in touch with the artist, trying to get in touch with the producer, the manager behind that artist, and trying to go direct and get into the studio with them, or get them to see me play, get me on, get keyboards on it. So it's like, trying to get into those rooms and just trying to, again, be humble, but it's also be professional and being able to execute what they're, what you're given. So it's like, you might get one chance in this world, but if you're not prepared, who cares? If you're prepared, you take the shot and try and milk that situation. Try and get as much as you can out of it. And it's like, don't limit yourself into thinking that's the only thing that you can do. Learn more. Like, I mean, this is life. This is not just music.
Talking about don't limit yourself, and this is life and stuff like that. Can you play any more instruments than just the piano? That's just something I always wondering.
Well, I played a little, bass and things. But I mean, I'm not very good at them. So
I just wanted to know you just play
I was not very good at the other ones, so I have samples for all the other instruments. But I mean, I just don't really, I don't really. I just play the piano, and I'm trying to create as many different kinds of music genres as possible. And
that's dope.
Genres, like I try and play different, not limit myself to the, done everything from country. I play some country, hip hop, R&B, pop music, all of it. Like
that's dope, bro. Hip hop and rap originated from jazz, blues, and soul music. What can you say as a pianist? Does that help improve your producing?
I mean,
inspiration.
Important instruments, and I mean, they're really the keys to the game, the keys to the language. I mean, they're all the keys are here. Like, I mean, it's like, I mean, the piano is so important for, just in general, for music in general. Genres itself, I don't really like the word genre. And even though hip hop is so like it's a genre itself, again, it's not about the genre. It's you know what I mean. So it's just it doesn't help, of course. I mean, it got me gigs. I was able to replay samples as a keyboardist, you know. So yeah, I mean that's let me play you some records that I played keyboards on. Yeah, for the especially for the Action Bronson shit. Playing the microphone, thank you. We put it jail everywhere we go. So motherfucker, come on, cause it's but you don't hear me though. Come on, here we go. We put it jail everywhere we go. So motherfucker, come on. Here's a toast to the fact that I'm a man and I can stand alone. And all my shoes are made by hand and bone, but got the stuff that can't alone. I'm in the garden smoking roses. Don't live like Malone, I'm talking Moses. Part the ocean, slug the potion. Diamonds in the rough, we shine them up, make a necklace dive up in the muck. Then wash my dick straight to breakfast, hop up in the truck. Got more flavor than some Dr. Pepper, honest that was crushed. In the streets paved with concrete. I'm known to smoke the same shit that makes the long green. Gaze at the moon right off the short tree. I mean, no worry, got a strong team. Just like my Knicks 94 team, we winning though. Go 80 layers on the baklava. That's handmade by my nonna. Keeps the Antigona. The whole scope. Bill Clinton Boulevard, since the youth, Broccolini on the party's on. But you don't hear me though. I mean, that's, you know, I mean.
That's dope.
Yeah, man, I mean, the piano is so important. Like, it's beyond the genre. It's the key to it all. Like, the keys to life. It's the really, like, piano playing is so important. Like, I mean, it's, if he has a producer, like, that's the most important.
Now, the most important thing, you're totally right. Without a melody,
there's no music.
There's no music.
I mean, even hip hop, which is driven by rap, like which is driven by talking, essentially. The music behind is equally so important. Like that's the beauty of it. It's not just the musical. It's not, you know, and that's the whole entire thing. First was getting into it. It was like we were trying to find a fine line between the musicality of what I could do and the street, and the more the relatability and finding that fine balance. That's what creates the magic.
One band, one sound. That's how I always look at it. Dr. Lee said it the best to me in the drum line, because like Devin, nobody hears you when you play that drum. They hear the band. So it's the same thing for a song. You know what I mean? Like, not that nobody hears the keyboard, but it's like everybody working together, it makes a song. It's like nobody on a song, there's no solo on the song because we're not performing live. You get what I'm trying to say? So there's no solos. It's everybody working together to make one sound.
100%.
And that's like beautiful. Talking about, you know, what's up?
No, you have to. There's again, you can't put limitations on art. I mean, yes, I mean unless there is specific limitations, you know, a specific like for a musical or movie thing that they want specific things, and you have to challenge yourself to make a a specific thing for what. And that's in the TV world. That's basically how it works. It's like if the way you win bids or get your songs in movies or TV shows is because you made the song that they're looking for. Basically, that's how it is. So I mean, again, limitations. I don't think every single song needs a hook. I mean, I think a song, some of the greatest songs. It's like I like some of the creative songwriters or like what I mean. Does Kendrick all of Kendrick Lamar's songs have hooks?
Nah, not really.
Some are a little more pronounced than others, but I mean the freestyle aspect. I mean the freestyling is so important. Like I mean, again, it's like if you have to vibe with it, you shouldn't put any limitations. Just
try new all the time.
Learning, keep on learning. I mean,
talking about all of this is great combo. If you had a chance to recompose any hip hop classic song, which would it be? What would it be?
course, Biggie Smalls is the greatest of all.
Biggie Small. But what song would it be though?
Would it be no, it'd be Juicy, man, for sure.
Juicy.
Or
That's fire. You know, I like I said, I like hearing
or this one. This is a Running.
Or with the Tupac and Biggie.
No, this is Running by J. Dilla.
Oh, J. Cole. Oh yeah.
Dilla is one of the greatest.
Yo, you know what's crazy talking about that Biggie and Tupac? Cause I thought it was Running.
No, no. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. No, this is J. Dilla.
J. Cole one.
No, it's not J. Cole. It's J. Dilla. It's from J. Dilla on the Far Side. I mean, there's so many though. I mean, so many.
That's fire, bro. If you had a chance to compose with Mozart, what would you do and what would you ask him?
Who's Mozart?
Mozart. I believe this is a question that Brass wrote. I don't know who Mozart is. He spelled it. It's funny. He spelled it. Probably you know who it is if I spell it. He spelled it Mozart.
Mozart.
Oh, Mozart. See, I pronounce. Hey, it's okay. Tomato. It's funny, though, right? Hey, it's funny.
Man, you can't really compare like guys like Mozart, Beethoven, classical musicians. I mean, they're and Chopin, like Rachmaninoff. I mean, they lived in a totally different world. This is hundreds and hundreds of years ago. Like, they didn't have production, didn't have studio, they didn't have.
Yeah, they just had piano.
They orchestra, like then opera. Like they weren't scoring movies. They were scoring operas. Like
So I wanted to ask you a question because I know if I'm lost, probably my viewers are lost. So Mozart is how to pronounce it.
Yeah, Mozart. Yeah,
he's a classical musician from like Beethoven era.
Yeah, I mean he's
I'm learning something new right now. So.
What is No, I mean personally, as a piano player, I mean for classical music, what's more important is Bach. Yeah, music is so important, man. Like it's the foundations. Like classical music, and again, limitations. I mean, I also work with a church. I mean, it brought spiritual music, and which all is so important. It comes from classical music. But different things. I mean, again, I have to keep on practicing classical music.
That's fire. You did great, bro.
Move on. I move on to other things. I mean, I started that way, but I then moved on to jazz and then classical. Other things. I mean, it's so important. They're all
important in their own ways.
Well, they're all. Yeah. I mean, they're all you know, I mean, especially when you think about it from a film scoring perspective, and it's like when you're looking for adding music from media, the more tools, again, the more genres you have under your belt, the better it is to really figure out how to really add to that, and that's how you get more gigs. It's like, or when you're getting asked, prepared, or like when I was prepared for the Disney job when they were asking, you know, so you know, when they asked me when they gave me a small, like what these things do, it's like when they give you a brief. Or they might give you some references. Sometimes they give you a paragraph and they ask you to make a song out of it from a paragraph. So it's like, again, if you're limiting yourself to just one genre.
Yeah. So out of all the music genres, talking about genres, what is your preference to listen to when you just want to relax? Because we know you love all types of music, but what is something you listen to when it's just time to mellow out, relax, chill?
Reggae. I'm just like reggae. You know, like you want to, you know, it's like when I want to relax. I want to think I'm in Jamaica or Caribbean, or like I'm you know, in Miami, chilling, you know, relaxing. Like that's, you know, music is, you know, it's like personally, like I mean, I've done reggae records as well. I love reggae. Like reggae is definitely one of my favorite ones.
That's fire.
Like, I mean, you know, I mean, it's like, I mean, again, I like them all. It's like, I mean, especially the music of the Caribbean is just so incredible. Like, yeah, it's the home of salsa, especially between Cuba and Puerto Rico, and then you have the home of reggae right in Jamaica, which is so close to Cuba. Like, I mean, in Dominican Republic and dance, you know, and dance hall and
Afro hip hop coming out.
Tone, and then reggae, you know, every single thing. Like, so many genres came out of the Caribbean. Like, it might be the most important musical place in the world. Like, if you think about it, like how many genres of music came out of the Caribbean, you know, they're more than necessarily than came out of the Caribbean in New York, you know. I mean, it's in the whole entire world, especially, you know, I mean, salsa, like salsa is such an incredible.
Oh, wet pop.
Yeah. And it's also very classic. There's a lot of classical music involved in salsa.
Salsa, yeah.
Like, I mean, that's the whole entire thing. It's very classical. It's very, very similar to, you know, very similar to classical music. I can play you some classical, some Cuban music that I just did, that I've just produced. If you're interested, to hear.
Nah, yeah, most definitely, man.
So this is featuring
What around the street is I just someone else, someone different than you're with me. Roll my eyes and you got secrets on the shelf. Lock it up and throw away the key. Cause we've been dripping lately. 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 I think I know something hard. I can do it with my shoulder. I know you better than me. I see you kissing your girl. I see your heart in your soul. Walk down, baby. Let them talk, baby. Bass so loud, crazy. Cause we've been dripping lately. Walk down, baby. Drop the sauce, baby. Bass so loud, crazy. Cause we've been dripping lately. 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 Cause we've been dripping lately.
Estamos boteando, golpea la cabeza, estamos ganando. Sigue noviando, pero sin embargo sigo gozando. Que sigue doliendo, además son rumores pa' que den el caso. Siguen mirando, porque en su flow se está asustando. And all of these rumors and all of these women causing the commotion and they got me tripping. They're talking and baby don't listen, they hating, we thought that we did. Que sigan hablando de mí, que sigan odiando así. O que te quiero a ti, billetes en el maletín. Gobierno sin fin. They don't want to that I know. I know you know me the most. They say my cheese in the flow, but you see my heart in my soul.
I know you better than me. I see your heart in your soul.
Nice, that was fire.
Baby, baby, so loud.
Yeah, man. So I mean, it's I mean, again, I like combining the styles and my own sound and my own records that I make. So
Shit was beautiful, bro. That shit sounded dope. I like how he was just rapping fast and slow in Spanish and
yeah, yeah. No, hablo español también. So it's just bueno.
I thought yo tengo otro. We got two more questions for you and the game. Two games for you and
Yeah,
basically
yeah.
over.
12 o'clock meeting, but so
Yeah,
we come.
make this snappy. What changes would you like to see in your community?
What changes would I like to see? I mean, again, people coming together rather than coming apart. It doesn't matter like who the people are. I think racism is obviously evil. I learned from every single culture that I've ever, every single story of suffering around the world. People, I'm trying. I love salsa. I love people coming together. Salsa is, is a little bit of everybody together. Paella, like the whole entire culture of like this. I think we could have more of that in our lives. More salsa, more people coming together, more more diversity, and more diversity in both worlds, and more diversity in like. I think we can learn more from each. Just learn more from each other's stories. Stories of suffering. Just be grateful for where we are. This is America. This is New York. Like,
Nah, unity. I hear you, bro.
probably are coming from around the world, but just be grateful for where you are. Like suffering. Like, what's going on? The war in Russia or COVID didn't teach us the war in Russia. Like,
Nah, no. I'm gonna speed it up just so you can have a little bit of time for yourself before your meeting. 'Cause I know how it is. What's the top 5 producers?
what's my top 5 producers?
Yeah, just because you're a producer, you know what I mean? I think that's an appropriate question. Instead of asking what's your top 5 favorite rappers, I felt
Yeah, no,
it'd be better to actually produce.
Gershwin technically, but yeah, Dr. Dre, Gershwin, definitely George Gershwin still, Dr. Dre, Timbaland, Pharrell. I have to say, like, definitely. I grew up on that. Max Martin, like, it's.
That's your 5th one, Max Martin?
I'm a pop guy as well. Like, it's like, it's. I have to. Yeah. It's. I still like people combining the styles. There's so many. There's so many. You can't limit yourself to 5 people. Like, you don't have 5 people on your playlist. Like,
it's funny you say that because before I became the host and I was interviewed just as well because he is a returning guest too, by the way. Before I became the host, I was interviewed, and when they asked me my top 5, bro, of rappers, I was like, bro, I got like a top 10. I can't limit. Like, I can't limit it. So I definitely agree with you there. Let's get this game on. I only made that noise, so when we editing it, we know where to put the bullhorns or something. So we're gonna start this game. It's called Whose Line Is It? You down, Cass?
let's do it.
Alright, so whose line is it? B, boys and girls, listen up. You could be anything in the world. In God we trust, an architect, doctor, maybe an actress, but nothing comes easy. It takes much practice. Like, I met a woman who's becoming a star.
I have no idea, but
You have no idea?
I'm 0. It kind of sounds like LL Cool J, but it has that.
It's Nas.
It's Nas. Yeah, it was. Yeah.
I know I can. It's a song I know I can.
Yeah, it's not. It's not the world is yours, unfortunately.
And, I got a better game that you're probably gonna enjoy. It's Would You Rather. So basically, the point of this game is like just imagine the opportunities. Just you use your imagination. Why I say that? I like have fun with this game. Our last guest, like I said, was Craig Jackson. And he's a saxophonist. He plays the jazz.
Yeah.
He's a jazz player. So basically, a lot of the would you rather's for him, it was a lot of people that that passed away or they really old. So it was fun for him just to play with them. So I said I love this game. So
jazz musicians. Barry Sanders just passed away, so rest in peace to him.
R.I.P.
There's a lot of people, unfortunately, but yeah, he was a jazz master. He had a very spiritual approach to the music that he made. Very, very spiritual approach. Very, very inspirational, actually. Very, almost religious in himself, like the way that he looked at the music. And ironically, Coltrane's birthday was also recently as well. And his Coltrane himself was also very spiritual in his practice. Between the magic and the connection between the spirituality and the mastery of the playing of music and spirituality. So,
now most definitely. So would you rather work with Dr. Dre or Swiss Beats?
Dr. Dre.
Dr. Dre. Alright.
Yeah, guy inspired me since I was 10 years old. Paul Rosenberg once. That was pretty incredible. I was a little starstruck. The meeting didn't go as planned, but I still got paid, but it wasn't. Paul Rosenberg's this huge guy who looks like a monster kind of. He's a huge, powerful, like a huge guy. Like you don't like a bouncer kind of guy. So it's like that's one thing. So he's kind of like scary the way he looks. I was kind of like starstruck because it was like Action was right there, and Action. I just worked with Action. I'm like he's one of my favorite artists. So it's like it's kind of starstruck to be in the same room with both of them, and they're like, "We need you to sign this so we can pay you." And I was like,
bro. That's beautiful. Those are
it was really cool.
I want to have. So would you rather make a song with Katy Perry or Rihanna?
Honestly, they're both incredible. They're both incredible. Both incredible. Rather do, but if I can, both.
I know. So, which one would you rather work with? Which one would you think? I'll let you answer it, and I'll show you my perspective.
Songs. I kind of could sing her songs better.
Who, Katy?
Katy Perry instead. I don't know.
Hey, I look at it like this when I answer questions like this, because you never know if this could happen to you. We could laugh about this 5 years from now, Cash, and you work with both of them. You work with Katy and Rihanna. But how I like to think of stuff like that, which one would you think would set up the next one?
So, Katy Perry set up the next one for sure.
There you go.
Because she's also the judge of American Idol right now. Like she's more in the game that would help me as a producer trying to work with more people than necessarily Rihanna, who is like married to A$AP Rocky and is now a fashion person. So it's like, and I'm not really interested in fashion. I'm not saying I'm a fashionable person, but I'm just not I'm just not interested in working in that world personally. So.
No, that's fire. You see, in the music game, everybody just know a lot of stuff is strategic.
Yeah, it's
everything's strategic.
Like it's all strategy. That's what it really comes down to. And it's like, it's even by making sure that I'm getting, like when I'm talking about the publishing situation, the more that I'm talking about it, actually now the companies are finally referring to seeing that. They really see that the politics is really bad for the whole entire game. Now they're finally acknowledging it.
Yeah.
Once they acknowledge it, they know there's ways of changing the game. Right? It's all going to lead that way. Because it's like, people, unfortunately in America and in some situations, people believe that the systems can't be changed, which I don't never agree with. I think all systems can be changed. All situations can be changed, especially in a free market and especially in a free world. So it's like,
yeah.
If they owe you money, if the most important thing is keep your credit, especially in this game, because it's like this game is like it's almost based off your intellectual property. So make sure you keep your credit and make sure that you're able to, get, full value for it. Always leverage every single situation that you're able to get, and always keep on moving. And do this for the right reasons and have goals and be realistic.
So, would you rather work with who do you rather, Bruno Mars or John Legend?
John Legend.
Fire.
Bruno Mars. Also John Legend. It seems like more, the reason why about John Legend than Bruno Mars is like, even though they're both incredible at what they do, it's about who they are as people. And it's like John Legend has been doing a lot of like resources, not only also as another industry judge, but it's like at least, but it's also what he does. Like he had a signing. He was in person doing signings with people. Like he has different things that he's giving advice on different platforms for different up and coming artists. He's obviously, Bruno Mars comes from a family of musicians and kind of got into the industry that way. He's very, very talented. Sound like Michael. Killer talent, but he also had connections. You know, he's also been doing it since he was 10. It's like performing with kids. So it's like, you know, I mean, again, cool, similar to me, but it's like, you know, I mean, again, it's like, who would I rather want to work with? You know, somebody who's giving advice, and you know, I mean, even I have a remix that I did with him. I never came out, never turned out very good. But I mean, it's like, again, there's more opportunities for me to work with him.
Oh wow,
You know,
you did a remix with him already?
a long time ago, it never came out.
You don't have to play it. It's cool, Cash. We can play it for. I mean, if you want to play it, you can play it. I'm not trying to tell you what to do. You the boss. This is your time.
There's a fire starting in my heart, reaching a fever pitch and it's bringing me out the dark. Finally,
Never
I
came
can
out.
see you crystal clear.
And
Go ahead and sound me out and I'll lay your shit bare. See how I leave with every piece of you. Don't understand.
fire.
There's a fire starting in my heart, reaching your fever pitch and it's bringing me out the dark. What if OJ said he wouldn't change nothing? And Mike Banks said he don't regret shit. And Tiger Woods said he on to the next bitch. Just knowing we all born with a death wish. Fucked up, it coincides with our dreams. True life, we reduce life down to a necklace. A new coupe, an amber rose. Some imaginary haters that let the tech hit. You average, niggas wish about you. Niggas with millions can care less about you. People from their own page on the social site. They go left, tell the web they overwrite. Not us though. You ain't sweet Facebook, Twitter, or real like this ain't me. If she crazy, crazy, say we all take time to listen to Scorsese. I'm slapping the moment 91 North End. My whole block in the box are in coffins. So as long as we breathing and play ball, it's Peter Pay Parker, we eating off them endorsements. More bricks, Porsches, killing the game, the sausage in the fourth list. More bricks, Porsches, used to really love to see a nigga go corporate.
Yeah, it never came out. But
Damn, man. It's honestly, bro, it sounded really good, bro.
cool, yeah, definitely cool. Definitely has potential, but it has to be. It's John Legend you're talking about. Like, I mean, it's a Adele song. Like,
Nah, yeah. There's a lot of you know,
Yeah.
clearances that need to get done.
like I mean, there is definitely potential in it. It definitely has potential in it. But I mean, yeah, I mean, it's yeah, no, yeah, for sure. I mean, yeah, mixtape for sure. But look, I mean, it's yeah. I mean, I can put it out as remix thing or mixtape or SoundCloud. But I mean, again, it has to. I mean, I'm very particular, like, I mean, especially when it comes down to these kind of like huge people. Like, you know, you have to make sure that you bring your best to them, because you might not. If you don't bring your best, you might never get a call again.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. One
If
shot.
it's like, I still don't like it, but I like you, so it's like, again, you get the better opportunity out of it.
Yeah, sometimes you could get an opportunity where the person likes you, the person, everything that you do, how you carry yourself. So they might not even be a super fan of the song, but that doesn't mean it's not good, and they don't respect the quality of it, and it's not going to support it and back it. So having a good personality and being good with everybody, it actually benefits. So
I mean,
that's a piece of advice.
your reputation precedes you. So even though I have like 20 million for the situation, if I go about it aggressively, it's going to precede me. If I go about it peacefully and then bring awareness and trying to actually bring community by doing it, I'm actually solving two stones with
Killing two birds with one stone. Kill it.
because we need more community. We need a union. We need situations. We need protections. We need to see a resource that could showcase the stream rates. So I mean, that's what we should really be doing it, not for the money. I mean, the money will come. So, well, again, your reputation precedes you. You know, I mean, just be who you are. you know, and just be easy to work with and talent, and you know, and find your things, and you know, again, just put out quality media that can attract. Like if you do a remix, I mean, remixes are so important. You know, just getting more attention from, like, let's say that wasn't official. He did a cover, but I mean, there's obviously other versions of his version. But it's like, I mean, let's say if they're, you know, I mean, the remix competitions, songwriting competitions, you know, there's so many, like, our beat battles are so key because that builds legit, you get legit. If you like play your beats in front of, like, my friend producer Plug, you and I, he hosts beat battles. He got Mike Dean to judge beat battles. You know, he got Havoc of Mob Deep, like Havoc, like
Yeah, I see. Yo,
he got what's his name? He got a lot of people. He got a lot of people. Brian, what's his name? What am I forgetting his name? But he got a lot of these celebrities. I mean, he does a producer Plug. You and I, check him out. Also like my man Hatch, J Hatch. You know J Hatch?
yeah.
He also he hosts beat battles. He used to own like IMI. So beat battles are so good just to establish yourself. Like, I mean, you might get something out of it, you might not. But the point is, you see who else is doing it, and you get yourself out there. I mean, and that's how you do it. Like, I mean, it's like, you know, I mean, that's the nature of the game. Like, I mean, you develop different artists, you team up with different artists that are on the up and coming. You know, you network yourself. You know, you see ways of getting placements yourself. You build, you produce your community around you. You know, until your name starts, you build more content for yourself. You get yourself out there, consistency, you build content. You don't stop, you stay persistent.
And the more, yo, Cass, I appreciate you for you know, talking with us today at the Tales of Two Hoods, dropping all the jewels, sharing your everything, man. It's so mine. I'm just like, I'm not even exhausted or nothing. I'm just all the information that you gave me, and the 20 mil is still in my head, so that's why I was lost for words. And I want to congratulate you as a musician, but as also a human. And what I mean by that, musician, for making that 20 mil, is there. But as a human, I want to thank you for holding your composure and, like you said, representing yourself in a highly manner instead of like, yo, give me off 20 million, like you're trying to do it the correct way in a right manner. So I want to thank you on that and congratulate you again for your success.
Yeah, you know, and it's like, really, like, if you do this for the right reasons, like, I mean, and also, I didn't mention Quincy Jones. I could have mentioned, Quincy Jones is basically, I don't know why I left Quincy Jones off top 5. But, I mean, if you hear Quincy Jones talk about what he's doing right now, he's doing what I want to do. You know, I mean, it's like, and what music he's listening to it all himself. It's like, and the way that he keeps Quincy Jones. Like, him and Pharrell just had a conversation. Like, I mean, recently an interview on Apple Music, and it's like, it's so important to hear the legendary person speak. Like, he's a legendary, iconic person. Like, I mean, from Fly Away to the, you know, to Thriller, like, classics.
I know. And a thing before we get up out of here, just to inspire everybody, Quincy Jones, I'm not gonna say he was a failure, but if you look up Quincy Jones, he didn't really make a lot of good hits until he made that Thriller album. Like that was the one that did
established though. I mean, Fly Away, he was making a lot of really cool jazz records. Summer City,
but it didn't take off like Thriller. And,
jazz records. He was jazz records. He was making, like, you know, he's a jazz musician. He came and he played, you know, he's making jazz arrangements. Like, I mean, it's that was his shit. Like, I mean, there weren't hits, but they were still establishing. At that point, it was a different world. They were selling records.
It was totally different.
Life. I mean, Quincy Jones. He had a successful career, actually. I mean,
he definitely did.
I mean, he still does. I mean, he's still, you know, like, I mean, it's like, but the point is, it's like, I mean, you have to just stay true to yourself and just be humble and just, you know, do this for the right reasons and keep the credit. And if somebody owes, if like BMI is not, you know, there's new technology that's showcasing the stream rates, and it's like, it's called Muso.ai. It's the power of AI for the art world, which is all it's only creating more opportunities than and I mean Web3 or just getting more valuation and just creating more direct dialogue, which is the whole entire point. Until now, we didn't have those communication tools available. Well, we actually did, but until now there's more pressure. Finally, after COVID and a war, and now possibly a world war, now the situation's actually becoming desired. They shouldn't be. Nobody should be owed 20 million. Nobody should be owed any money. If you have a successful song, you should be rewarded. That's it.
That's it.
And it's not like rewarding somebody else that he never heard of and who doesn't have streams, not some bullshit politics. The way that they're doing business has to be looked at. There has to be oversight, or they might as well just hire me and I just switch the whole entire thing around for them. And so they're gonna get into serious lawsuits, because the whole entire thing is, if it's the same thing with me, it's obviously the same thing with a lot of people. I might be the independent and I might be seeing first myself, but it's the same thing with a lot of other people. That's the lobby.
Not yet.
So I mean, the song itself. I mean, I don't even have that much percentage over on the song. That's the funniest thing. But just not to see the whole entire, not to be getting paid in full.
Yeah, man. I know.
I mean, it's I can be and be owed that amount, and I have that in writing as well. It's like,
yo, it's been a blessing. I mean, you got a meeting in 10 minutes.
yeah. Come take it.
Let you have some time for yourself, use the bathroom or whatever you got to do. God bless you. I appreciate you again for coming. You already know. Do your thing, Cash.
Always down to work. Always down to collab as well. So I mean, I'll always say,
but definitely DM you and we could work on something. All right.
All right.
God bless, bro.
Peace.
Peace, bro.
All right.
Later.
Take it easy.
You're ready. Yeah, man. Y'all seen it here, man. Cash, bro. What a dope producer. What a dope person, down to earth. It's been so great. Again, I want to thank everybody who watched our live, our viewers. I want to thank Cash for coming through. And again, y'all already know the vibes, man. Today's show is brought to you by Urban Prophet Society, the Tales of Two Hoods, and Jay Morrow. And can't forget Neo Roman Clothing Line. And again, y'all already know the vibes, man. We will be here again, same time, 10 o'clock a.m. on Sunday. Every Sunday. See y'all there. Again, God bless you. Thank you for your time. Stay humble. Stay blessed. See you on top, man.
Don't know what God is coming to.